mindset. What's development? And today is the day we shall have our guest speaker to break down and let us know the bedrock of mindset change, development, all these aspects of life that lead to personal, family, community, national and international development. Without wasting time, I would want to thank the Almighty God for this day, the 2nd of December, 2021, and for our lives, that we are all here. And also to pass my thanks to the National Chairperson of the party, His Excellency, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for showing us the way, and also to pass a vote of thanks to the Right Honorable Secretary General of the NRM party for standing with us and making sure the clinic is a bedrock for the youth and citizens of this nation. I welcome the online audience. We love you so much. Thank you so much. I salute you guys in the diaspora. We receive your comments. Please keep them coming in. Keep the questions coming in. We are really grateful. And the audience with us here live, we appreciate you. Thank you so much, my brothers from Resist Sako. We appreciate you. We recognize you. And also our brothers from the ghettos of Chiseka. We love you so much. Thank you for joining us here today. Let me take this opportunity and welcome none other than our mama. No, mothers know how to cook. They know how to plan. And good things, mothers are there. Good things take place. So our mama is in the house. None other than the Director of Finance and Administration, Hajat Medina, to moderate. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Guana, the coordinator of our weekly ideological clinics at NRM Secretariat. Our audience, good afternoon. Today we are blessed with an academician full of knowledge. I don't want to go further. You will confirm what I'm saying when he starts talking. But before I talk about our guest of today, I would like to introduce myself and senior members of the party who may be present here. I'm called Hajat Medina Naham, the NRM Director Finance and Administration. Today, you can see most of our seats are vacant. We have a very contentious election, a by-election in Kayunga, so most of my senior colleagues are the other side campaigning for our candidate of NRM. The others who are present are currently in a meeting, but they will join us shortly if they can. We have our senior, one of our accountants, Bernadette. They should know you. That's our accountant of the National Resistance Movement. We have here staff of the NRM Secretariat. You can just stand up for recognition. Abamama Bafe, Muriwa. These are some of our staff. We have over 90 staff. Some are also in the field. Others are engaged in various activities of the party that are ongoing this week. We have our students from the various institutions of learning. Where are you? Yes, I have a sister from UCU. Yes. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always being with us. We have Recess Circle. They've always been with us. You can imagine a team of people, of saloonists all over the country. They came together and formed a circle. They even have different political belonging in some cases with us, though they have NRM members, but they also have other political parties. But they have identified with us that they want to also tap into the weekly ideological clinics and learn and improve on what they are doing. Thank you so much. Recess, you can just wait. Thanks for being with us. I have my people from the ghetto, the Seka group, led by a very powerful lady. I don't know whether they've already joined us. We will see them in a short while if they are not here. It's a group of young people that are involved in informal jobs, but seriously penetrating the streets of Kampala and other districts, mobilizing for the NRM. We also have our online followers. Thank you for always being with us. At a later time, our guests, they will be able to inform you the number of online followers we are going to have. Mama Janet, we have mobilizers here. Our mobilizers, please wave. This is this lady is called Mama Janet Kataha. Janet Kataha is her daughter that she named after our mother of the nation, Mama Janet Kataha Museveni. So she's a strong mobilizer of the party and a friend of the national chairman of NRM. Thank you so much for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, our technical team, wow. You've always kept us here on Thursday. You've kept us glued to our screens and our phones because of the work you do. Thank you so much, Oscar, Matovu, and William. Thank you so much for the work you do. And Boana, our coordinator, thank you so much. And everybody else who may not have mentioned, you do a great job, our security team. Without wasting time, today our topic is Mindset Change for Development, and the guest speaker is Professor Yasin Olum, a PhD holder. I think we would like to know more about this gentleman. He has a very broad CV, but I had to just extract what we can grasp at the moment. Otherwise, the CV is so heavy that I could not handle lifting it all here. Yasin Olum is an associate professor of political science and public administration at the School of Social Sciences, College of Humanities and Social Sciences at Makerere University. He has served as the head of Department of Political Science and Public Administration from 2006 and 2010, and he holds a Bachelor of Arts of Makerere University in 1987. That's when I was born. He already had a bachelor's degree, you can imagine. An MA in Development Administration and Management from Manchester, UK in 1989. You can imagine. People read books long ago. I was 2 years old by then. And he has a PhD in Public Administration of the University of Newcastle, UK in 1998. He was also a Fulbright scholar. He has authored several journal articles as the Commonwealth Journal of Local Governance, the Local Governance and Development Journal, the Journal of Public Administration, African Journal of Public Administration and Management, the Ugandan Journal of Management and Public Policy Studies, the Uganda Living Law Journal, Makerere Journal of Higher Education. For those of you who have been involved in research, like myself, I'm sure you have come across some of his articles in those journals. And for those who have been at Makerere and other institutions of learning, I know he's not new to you. He has also contributed to chapters of books such as The Reality Check, The State of Multi-Party Democracy in Uganda. So we are with the right person. When we talk about democracy and multi-party politics, he's here, the encyclopedia, to tell us what that is. He has also authored Understanding the Institutional Processes and Outcomes of the 2006 multi-party elections. Democracy as a Way of Life, Confronting 21st Century Challenges, Analysis and Dedications by the national and international scholars. There was also an article authored by him about poverty orientation of the Danish. He also has been a consultant at various organizations. They say, in these bomb scares, you don't give us such. We're about to run away. So we are safe otherwise. it was a technical glitch. So he worked with various organizations, as I said, you said, Danida, GIZ, the UNESCO, and many more. There are some, he has also been a board member of a number of government bodies and NGOs, such as the Tabika National Referral Hospital. We know it very well, a foundation of human rights initiative development. He has also been involved with the Center for Women in Governance, and he has worked with us very well, the women, I'm proud. And a community development and resource network. Briefly, this is what I can bring out, but as I told you, there's a lot. His CV is very heavy. If I'm to read it this evening, then it will take our entire time. Thank you so much, Professor, for coming to be with us at this time of the evening. We are in very critical times, one faced by this COVID pandemic that has brought a lot of challenges on humanity. Sometimes we don't know how to deal with it, but some of our decisions are based on the mindsets at the time. So what is it that you need to tell us about developing or changing our mindset, but also politically? Our country, our nation is deteriorating. We are faced with the politics of hate. We are faced with the politics of intrigue rather than ideas. We are faced with the politics of division, of smear campaigns. If you see social media now, is awash with the negativity, with the lies, with the things that can change the common man. As the president speaks about socioeconomic transformation, how do we bring our people up? How do we change our livelihoods? How do we ensure that all Ugandans are able to live with sustainable incomes, but also fight poverty? We are still grappling with this because our mindsets have remained the same, or maybe in some cases, they have actually been retarded. So we welcome you so much today to give us an enlightenment and also to learn more about this very cumbersome topic, development, how it links to mindsets, and how we can push together as a nation and ensure that in the long run, we change the way we do things so that we can all develop as a nation. Thank you so much. At this moment, I would like to welcome you to be able to give us a lecture and also to be able to share with you at a later time what some of the ideas we have here as your audience. Thank you. You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Ajati Madina, for the kind words that you have said of me. And before you introduced me at our informal chat, you informed me you had actually known me and that you even know my family members. I found that quite interesting and very comforting. There's nothing as comforting that when you go to a place and you think everybody is new and somebody tells you, I know you very well. So you become very comfortable and you know that you are actually at home. So Hajati Madina, thank you for the good reception and thank you for hosting me to this very interesting national resistance movement, Ideological Clinic. By the way, I was called just 2 days ago to come and present this paper. The Secretary General gave me a call in the morning and said, where are you? I said, I'm in Kampala. Can you come and talk to us? I said, on what issue? Of your choice. I said, and I was just waking up from bed. My thoughts were not collected. So I said, what do you think I can talk about? He quickly went to mindset. I said, let me add the other. Mindset change for development. That is what then we zeroed down on. And that is what I have for you today. Mindset change for development. I think I should do the natural thing that I should say I want to thank the Secretary General and the entire team of the National Resistance Movement for being able to invite me and to be able to start these ideological clinics, which are very good clinics. Yes, as I was just talking about him, he enters. So I was saying I want to thank the Secretary General for inviting me and for organizing these ideological clinics. I don't want to say the importance, not only to the national resistance movement, but to the country as a whole. What you are doing is extremely important for the country and for its development. Thank you for that. Now, I have a paper that I want to see how to go through it so that you can get my message. I'm not going to apply it to any specific organization or to any specific institution. I want to highlight the issues deliberately so that you can see how useful mindset is to matters of development. So I will start by introducing my topic, mindset change for development. Now, in my introduction, I'm going to say this, that many programs and projects in the third world especially, they tend to focus much or focus exclusively on either the question of leadership or micro or macroeconomic strategies to achieve development. So that's their focus, leadership, macroeconomics, microeconomics. They think these are the issues that matter to development. Yet, there is somebody who said some time ago that placing too much emphasis on macroeconomic models and economics in solving socioeconomic problems over the years have not proved to be very helpful. When we over-concentrate on issues of leadership, macroeconomics, these issues are important, but they in themselves do not solve the problems of development. Indeed, they have never been of help because their major concern is to analyze the outcomes of economic decisions without delving into the root causes of the economic malaise that our countries face. They are important, but they don't delve into the issues that solve our socioeconomic challenges. In other words, mindset change has never been a subject of serious concern. Where mindset change has been discussed in various forums, including written essays, its treatment has been superficial at the very least. There are no specificities. No specificities have been provided about what mindset change is, why it is important, how it can be operationalized, and the challenges it faces. People discuss mindset change, but they don't explain what is it, how important is it, how do you operationalize mindset change, what are the challenges of trying to operationalize mindset change. People don't discuss it, and I'm saying this because I have read articles that have been written on mindset change, particularly those who have been writing on mindset change with regard to parish development model. I have read the articles, and some of them are key people here in the National Resistance Movement headquarters. I have read the articles, and I've made reference to them. I have been looking for what exactly do they mean by mindset change. I have not found it in their articles, and I've cited them in my paper. And I've gone through them because I'm trying to write something on parish development model. That's why I'm abreast some of these issues. And you know that parish development model has got 7 pillars. One of the key pillars is community mobilization and mindset change. So my reading of these articles show that they do not tackle mindset change very seriously. Further, Because many governmental programs and projects tend to treat mindset change in a lukewarm manner, many times their outcomes have been failures. Programs of government, projects of government have failed because they don't take mindset change seriously. They don't. Yet, in countries such as South Korea's mindset change is known as Samuel Undong, and you'll find it in my paper, which I will leave behind. In South Korea, their economic miracle began with the mindset change campaigns conducted at the national level. That is why South Korea is what it is, because of mindset change. So, this paper, which I'm presenting to you, will argue very strongly that if development, especially socio-economic development in particular, is to be achieved in developing countries, Uganda inclusive, mindset change should be viewed as a critical ingredient. That's the argument. It must be viewed as a critical ingredient. The great philosopher Aristotle, and I know some of you can Google him now if you haven't. The great philosopher Aristotle once said, "A nation is not built by mountains and trees." Those from the saloon have noted it. A nation is not built by mountains and trees. It is built by its citizens' characters. It's built by its citizens' characters. And that is what pains me today. There are some Ugandans whose characters are appalling. From the time you leave home up to reach the city center, you will have quarreled with border borders over and over before you have reached, because of their mindset. The taxi drivers also do likewise. Some pedestrians also don't care. So the mindset is horrible. Right from the time I leave home up to the time I reach my final destination, downtown, I have gone through hell. Can you imagine? So natural resources on their own do not build a nation. It is the mindset of the citizens that builds nations, not natural resources. The mindset factor influences employees' productivity, citizens' work habits, use of technology, market habits, public and private stewardship, entitlement, employee engagement, work performance, and national character. All these things I've listed, they can only occur because of mindset. Employees' productivity, citizens' work habits, use of technology, market habits, public and private stewardship, entitlement, employee engagement, work performance, and national character. All these lists of things can only be built by mindset change. Now, you have heard me talk about mindset. What is mindset? What is mindset change? Now, mindset change, we need to understand it. And in theoretical terms, you know, I'm a university scholar, so we deal with theories. Within the context of decision theory and general system theory, within those two theories, decision theory and general systems theory, a mindset is a set of assumptions, methods, or notions held by one or more people or groups of people. These are our assumptions. This is our philosophy. This is who we are. This is us, NRM. You see? So when you begin to assume who you are beginning to have a mindset about what that thing should be. It's about assumptions, it's about methods, it's about notions that you hold about one people or many people or a group of them. It is about self-perception. Mindset is about self-perceptions or beliefs which people hold about themselves. We perceive ourselves to be this. That's your mindset about who you are. Now, when you do something else, when you say that that is what you are, then somebody questions what exactly you are up to. I am NRM. This is what NRM is. Now, when you do something which is anti-NRM, somebody is bound to question what exactly you are up to. But this is what you said you are. Why are you doing something else? Now you have to explain. You see? So, mindset change determines behavior, outlook, and mental attitude. Your behavior, your outlook to things, and your mental orientation explains your mindset. It arises, mindset, it arises out of a person's worldview or philosophy of life. Mindset can be firmly established. It can be firmly established. Why? Because mindset creates a powerful incentive within individuals or groups of individuals to continue to adopt or accept prior behaviors, choices, or tools. I have delivered mindset. But there are two. Listen to where you might belong. Listen to this next statement. You might belong there. There are two dominant mindsets in organizations. One is called the productive mindset. And I know many of you want to belong here, even when you don't belong there. The productive mindset is one. What is the other? The defensive mindset. And I know some of you will agree with me that you don't want to belong there at the defensive mindset, but you might belong there nevertheless. So there are two, productive mindset and defensive mindset. The productive mindset seeks out valid knowledge that is testable. In fact, the productive reasoning mindset creates informal choices and makes reasoning transparent. That is what it is. It is productive, it likes reasoning, it likes transparency. That's what it is, productive mindset. What about defensive mindset, where some of us belong? The defensive mindset is self-protective. It protects itself. And it is self-deceptive. It's self-protective, it is self-deceptive. It deceives itself. The defensive mindset. When such a mindset is active, the defensive one, people or organizations only seek out information that will protect them. You see, they only want information that protects them because they are defensive. For instance, they block truth if they think truth is threatening. If they see truth and they think it is threatening them, they will block it from being aired out because their mindset is defensive. Thus, the defensive mindset tends to lead to learning based on false assumptions or prevent learning altogether. It doesn't want to learn. Yet organizations are learning organizations. Now, NRM does not belong to this. I can say this publicly. The mere fact that you have started ideological clinics shows that it is for learning. Therefore, it does not have a defensive mindset as an organization. It is a productive mindset. I can conclude. Nobody can tell me I have made a wrong conclusion because we will not be here. The fact that it wants these kind of ideas exchanged, it is a productive mindset. Furthermore, there are two types of mindsets that can group individuals based on their behavior. Specifically, their reaction to failure. There are two other groups which I want to bring forth. One is called growth mindset. The other is called fixed mindset. You have a fixed mindset. So there are two types of groups of individuals who belong to what we call the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. NRM is in the growth category. It wants to grow. That's why we are here. You can't reason any other way. We are here because it wants to grow. That's why the ideological clinics have been started. Growth mindset is the belief that intelligence, skills, and abilities are fluid and can be improved. They are fluid and they can be improved. On the other hand, fixed mindset is the belief that intelligence, skills, and abilities are fixed and cannot change. Now, how do these all relate to development? How does mindset change relate to development? Before I can show the relationship, it is good to understand what development is. First of all, development as a concept has a multitude of meanings attached to it. There are so many meanings attached to the word development. Hence, development is a very complex term. It is contested, it is ambiguous, and it is very elusive, the word development. We want a mindset that can lead to development. But this word development in itself is a very complex word. Nevertheless, development is a process that creates growth or new information or progress or positive change or the addition of physical, economic, environmental, social, and demographic components. So when you add all these things, you are causing development to take place within social, economic, environmental, and so on spheres. The main purpose of development is a rise in the level and quality of life of the population. The quality of life of people must increase, must rise. That's really what development is about. And I think you are beginning to see that we need a mindset capable of ensuring that the life of people can increase. You cannot increase the life of people with people whose mindsets are not for development. So we are looking at the quality of life of the population and the creation or expansion of income and employment opportunities. Yes, you are here, you're talking about employment. How do we create employment opportunities if we have people whose mindsets are incapable of creating development? You see? Yet you have the natural resources. I keep hearing, Uganda, Africa is a very rich continent. So what? You keep singing. Natural resources are abundant. The Republic of Democratic Congo alone is richer than Germany put together, all these European countries. So what? Why are you singing? Show us that it is. Because the mindset is incapable of changing those rich resources into a very first-class developed country called Democratic Republic of the Congo. There is a guy known as Professor Sears. He asserted that development means the conditions for realization of the human personality. the human race, the human beings, the condition of the human being must be such that they are living in conditions that really can make them live as human beings. That's what he's saying. He continues to say, Professor Sears, its evaluation must therefore take into account three linked criteria. One, poverty. You must reduce poverty, according to Professor Sears. Two, you reduce unemployment. And three, you must reduce inequality. That's how he defines development. If you can reduce these three things, poverty, unemployment, inequality, then you can begin to talk about development in that country. So, how do I now link? I'm cutting things short because I've raised the issues I want to raise. How do I now link mindset to this thing called development, which I've given you in brief? I would have gone to other people as well, such as Professor Pearson. I would have gone to Professor Amartya Sen. I have left them in my document, and I will leave the copy behind. I have left them in my document, but I would have referred to all these professors about development. But I have summarized them through Professor Sears' assertions of those reductions that I talked about: poverty, unemployment, and inequality. So what is the link now between synergy? What is the link between mindset change and development? Let me show you the linkage. There is a neat synergy or linkage between mindset change and development. Indeed, the success of any development program and policy relies heavily on the mindset of the citizens. Growth mindset determines how well citizens engage with the developmental agendas or initiatives and how much progress they can make. If your mindset is growth mindset and not fixed mindset, then you are capable of discerning what kind of development agenda you need. It is people who have fixed mindsets, who have no ability or capacity to think through the kind of development agendas that a country needs. Hence, growth mindset is foundational to developmental programs in three ways. Mindset is connected to development in three ways. One, it emphasizes on progress over perfection. That is one. A growth mindset is connected to development because it emphasizes progress over perfection. What does this mean? Effective development can only happen when employees are stretched slightly outside their comfort zones. When you are stretched, you are caused to think beyond your comfort zone. I'm comfortable where I am. I don't want to know anything beyond where I am. Once somebody can cause you to look beyond where you are, then you are starting to think in a developmental way. And that is one thing that growth mindset does to development. In other words, it means having goals that are challenging to achieve, but being able to obtain it because you use effort and hard work to get it. So that is number one. You must challenge whatever you are doing and avoid being in a comfort zone as if everything is okay, when you know you need to do more. The second connection between mindset change and development is you must have an idea of being resilient, development of resilience. You must become as tough as a metal in order to be able to change your circumstances for the better. Development of resilience. Growth mindset encourages openness to learn from mistakes. The moment you make mistakes, you don't give up. You become resilient, like the Dutch courage. Ugandans must learn to become hard people. Tough people, you know. The system gets out of equilibrium, you readjust, and you get back to homeostatic equilibrium, and you move on. That's what we should be. COVID-1, COVID-2, wave 3, I don't know whom. You just find after some few while, we are on move. We are moving because we are tough, we are resilient. You cannot have resilience with people who have got fixed minds. It is only people with growth mindsets who become resilient and can lead to development. The type of resilience I'm talking about that comes with a growth mindset is key to achieving goals, to achieving both personal and professional growth. If you are resilient, you grow personally. Then you also grow professionally because you are tough. You see? Because you are tough. And third, the third connection between mindset change and development is it makes the learning process fun. It doesn't fear learning. It turns learning into fun. It enjoys learning. It is only fixed mindsets that don't want to learn. And I'm very grateful that these clinics have begun. I missed the one of Honorable Odavire narrowly because I told the Secretary General, I really missed it narrowly because I could neither be on Zoom or I could not be. I was committed in some function like this one, but I really wanted to be personally attending it. And we're with the Mafabis in these things. Kamoche, where is he? David Mafabi, this Pan-African movement things. We were with him in these things. We used to go there and very, very religiously, you know. So we are committed to learning, and therefore the benefit of mindset change to development is that it makes the learning process fun. People with a growth mindset view the learning process as the best part of their business. They enjoy the struggle and don't mind being bad at something in the beginning because they know they will progress with hard work. So they don't fear failure. In fact, I'm coming to that, the F word. Growth mindsets don't fear the F word, failure. They make mistakes and they correct as they go along. And that is how it should be. Chairperson, why is mindset change important? Why are we discussing it? Changing mindset is important, ladies and gentlemen, in a number of ways, or for a number of reasons. One, mindset or mindsets are important for learning new skills and improving oneself in order to do better. When you change your mindset, you want to learn new skills in order that you should do better. How can you refuse to learn new things and you want to remain in the old order? Yet new things are cropped up. Digital things, the new normal. For you are stuck, we shall do it like this. Come and buy and buy. And you don't make any headway. And you're insisting. And other people have changed, they are moving. So when digitalization has come, you also accept this is a new skill now. Let us see how to adopt it. So mindsets are important for learning new skills and improving oneself in order to do better. Two, in order to affect the way in which someone thinks about everything. In order to affect the way in which someone thinks about everything. It enables you, in other words, to tease out things. You are not just yes, yes, yes. You are thinking through issues. Why is this what it is? Are you with me? You think through because your mind is ready to change, to think differently. Why is this thing like this? How can we do it better than this or better than how we did it? Hence, you don't take anything for granted because you interrogate whatever comes your way so that you can do it better. 3, mindset change is important because it changes behavior positively. So when you are changing your mindset on how to do a business, it is not for bad reasons that you should change, but it is because it is going to make you more positive in the way you will do it. Pure and simple. Okay? You grow in your thought and in your action. And finally, 4, to be in control of one's ability and destiny. You change your mindset to continue being in control of your ability and your destiny. If you have a fixed mindset, you cannot continue to control your ability and destiny. The environment will sweep you because new things have emerged and you are still in the old way. So, given the importance of mindset change, as I've shown to you above, it is important or incumbent upon countries and their respective institutions or organizations to develop a growth mindset if they are to reap positive outcomes. How can we develop positive mindset? Once I say this, then I almost conclude. How can we develop a positive mindset? 1, this is how you can develop a positive mindset. 1, challenge the assumptions. Challenge the assumptions that comprise the individual's or group's mindset. You have certain assumptions that you hold extremely dear. Make sure you challenge it, either at an individual level or at a group level, or even at an organizational level. This is how we have been doing business. Can we challenge how we have been doing this business? Is there another alternative way of doing it? So that is one way of building a new mindset or a mindset change. 2, the second way in which you can do it is through identifying what we call counter mindsets. Develop counter mindsets. You know, mindsets are developed through experience and emotional milestones. I have come this far. This is how I have come. This is what my mindset is. Now, can you begin to counter that mindset and see if what you have been doing can be done differently? You see, once you begin doing that, you are beginning to think very deeply about your own mindset. I'm used to this. Can I do it in another way? So counter mindsets are mindsets that aren't producing the results that that person wants. So counter mindset will produce other results, not the one you are used to. 3, flip the switch. Flip the switch. What does flipping the switch mean? Flipping the switch means moving the thoughts from a negative position to a positive position. You have been holding a negative position, now you flip it to a positive position. And this is what I think. We cannot make it. I don't think we will. I'm not sure we shall. Your mindset is just negative. Now, can you flip that negative and try to begin thinking positively? So once you have identified your negative thoughts, you need to stop it. These are my negative thoughts. Stop thinking negatively so that they can stop holding you backwards. Now think of the alternative positive ones. That way you will flip from negative to a positive position. 4, understand your why. Why, W-H-Y. Understand your why. This is about starting afresh or fresh and deciding on one goal or one dream that when you achieve it, it will lead to what we call transformation or change. Understand your why. Your why. Why is this what it is? Why am I like this? Why am I not achieving this? So start understanding your why. Now, once you begin understanding your why, then it means you are beginning to start on the issue afresh. Why is this what it is? When you pose that question, you are starting afresh. And once you start afresh, you begin to decide on how to do it anew. You set a new goal. You set a new dream. 5, realize that motivation and willpower are insufficient. You may have motivation, you may have willpower, but these are insufficient for you to achieve what you want to achieve. What does that mean also? Motivation and willpower is not only what you need in order to achieve your goal. Some of you say, as long as I'm motivated, it's okay. No. It's insufficient. Motivation is insufficient. I have the will, I will do it. It is insufficient. So always move away from motivation and willpower. Because motivation is very hard to maintain. No matter how much you want to maintain it. Motivation. You can easily become demotivated. So look at all the other factors that are important to enable you to achieve your goal. 7, get comfortable with the F word. I said it before. Don't be tired, I'm about to end. Get comfortable with the F word. High achievers are comfortable with the F word. It is only low achievers who are uncomfortable with the F word. And the F word I told you means what? Failure. People who are high achievers don't fear failures. It is low people who fear failure. That's why they don't try. I will fail. I would rather not try. But high achievers try, they fail, they wake up, dust themselves, they move on. That's their character. So if you fail and you say, Nyenze, Olazewa, where are you going? Onaenda. Utapata vile another hurdle ahead. There's another hurdle ahead of you. So what do? You turn back. So please, don't fear the F word. Indeed, high achievers realize that the one thing that will keep them from their goals is to stop trying, so they don't get held back by the F word. So you must always be ready to learn from mistakes and make adjustments that will keep you moving forward. 8, believe in the ability to grow and change. I'm about to finish. Believe in the ability to grow and change. It is only fixed-minded people who have no ability in themselves to grow and achieve. Growth mindset people always know they will achieve results. So believe in your ability and always know that you can do better. The other one is that you should see challenges as opportunities. Don't see challenges as obstacles. Don't see challenges as problems. See them as things that can enable you to achieve a higher level. Now, this is very important. The next one, which is coming. Reform or overhaul institutions that embed anti-developmental mindsets. These are all very fat things. I'm only just summarizing them. Reform or overhaul institutions that embed anti-developmental mindsets. Once you know that an institution is not helping you to grow, either reform it or overhaul it, because there's something that is happening within it that is stopping you from achieving your objectives. So the best you can do to it is study it, dissect it, and see how you can turn it into a success story organization or institution. Today, what some organizations do is what they call strategic planning, strategic planning of institutions and organizations, so that you should see which is the strategic direction now you should take. Is what this thing was doing the right thing, or can we begin to reform it? So we're looking at our strategic plan. That's what organizations do today. Invest in education. Invest in education. If you want people to change, invest in education. There is need for more education to achieve societal goals. That's a truism. You can't challenge that statement. Hence, to overcome a fixed mindset is to understand the problem and have the strategies, the tools, and the knowledge in place to take action. If you don't educate and give the right skills, people will not be able to change. They will do things in the same old way, and there will be hardly good results. As you do education, please offer mentoring and leadership coaching. Offer mentoring and leadership coaching. This will help in overcoming fixed mindsets on their own. Mentoring and coaching in various organizations is a great way of offering individuals and groups in institutions the one-on-one support they need to develop a growth mindset. Finally, create a support network. Create a support network. If you want to change mindsets, create a support network. What does this mean? All individuals should struggle to approach every situation with the right mindset. Everybody, without exception. It could be helpful to create a community for employees to discuss their progress. Parish development model. Create a group of villagers, of parishioners, so that they discuss their progress. They share advice, or they hold each other accountable. Make sure these issues are handled with care. Chairperson, I've spoken as if I'm in an idealistic world. There are 4 challenges. Very quickly, there are 4 challenges as you want to change mindset. One of them is socio-political and work environment. The socio-political and work environment, cultures and subcultures, can force you not to change your mind. So work on the cultures and the subcultures so that they can accommodate what you want to achieve, even through changing your mindset. 2, old bad habits. One challenge is old bad habits. Old bad habits. Because to break down an old bad habit is not easy. Somebody is used to that method. Are you with me? So to try to remove that method from that person is a tug of war. Are you with me? This is what the person knows. Now you are bringing something new. That person doesn't understand you. So that breaking long-standing patterns is a continuous process. And it is a process that can be achieved through conscious effort to change bad old habits. So it's a challenge. So it requires committing to what? To action learning. Commit yourself to action learning if you want to change bad habits. Deliberately applying what one has learned through real life experimentation, and consciously picking up new habits. Three, the second last point there, and then I conclude. The third challenge is fixed attachments to mindsets and worldviews. Some identities or mindsets are very tricky to abandon. Fixed attachments to mindsets and worldviews. Some identities or mindsets are very tricky to abandon. And many people find it challenging to reframe their self-perceptions. Very challenging to reframe their self-perceptions, to acquire something new. So individuals and groups should preserve what is useful about the original mindset or identity. You preserve the good and discard the bad in order to accommodate another new. So what is new in your old, keep it, preserve it. What is bad in your old, discard it, replace it with something which is new. That way, you will change your mindset. The final challenge, attitude toward learning. One of the challenges is attitude toward learning. You don't belong to that category. Thank you very much. The Secretary General told me that there are even people who have come from downtown who find this mindset thing very important, and they have come to learn. Thank you for coming to learn. When I was doing my PhD, and papers, I could pick papers floating down. I would pick and see what was it saying. I always wanted to read when I was in Newcastle. What was this paper trying to say? I found it down. It had nothing to do with me, but somebody dropped it somewhere down. What was it saying? Some of them were agricultural policies in the European Union. I would take them to my flat and read. What are they saying about agricultural policy? But somebody had thrown it. So I learned something about agricultural policies in the European Union. And they say, seek ye knowledge, even if it is as far as Beijing, the old Peking, isn't it? In China. That's what they say. Even the Holy Quran says that. Seek ye knowledge, even if it is as far as Beijing. So thank you for learning, because it is through learning that you can change for the better. People who don't want to learn will never change. I conclude, Chairperson. Changing mindset does not happen by an accident. It happens by choice. You can choose to remain backward, you can choose to be progressive. However, changing mindset isn't easy. When citizens and organizational members adopt a growth mindset, they are more likely to see progress with their development. The various measures of how to change citizens' mindset can help get them on the right track. A country's citizens and workforce should be set up for success by providing them with the resources they need to approach their journey with the right attitude. The idea of a growth mindset can be applied in various sectors, such as education, in sports, and workplaces. It can also be used in organizational change models and as development tools. In this sense, growth mindset should be taught to students, to employees, to organizational leaders, to political leaders through carefully designed workshops. For instance, a vision, commitment, and action VCA workshop. Vision, commitment, and action VCA workshop could be organized for community members. In the VCA workshops, community members can create a vision for their respective villages or parishes in the case of the parish development model, thus enabling them to have a right to have a vision. Through these workshops, they have a right to have their own vision. Through this workshop, people do not only own the vision, but get inspired to take the stand and commit themselves to fulfilling that vision. Lastly, it is worth knowing that although many factors come into play to explain the level of underdevelopment in the third world, the real issue is not the lack of resources, but the mindset of the people who are involved and responsible for undertaking the work. Evidently, poor work ethics, for example, the habit of not thinking ahead and making necessary preparations, not being focused and devoted in relation to one's work, easily quitting one's task, not keeping to deadlines and promises and so on, they do so much harm, but this is not mentioned enough. From now onwards, Chairperson, we need to think deeply and seriously about mindset change to achieve development in countries like Uganda. Thank you for listening to me.
Wow. Another round of applause for Professor. Did I tell you that we would be wowed? We are. Thank you so much, Professor. You even kept time when we didn't tell you how long you were supposed to take. So I really was there listening to you, but I know in everybody's mind we kept thinking and, trying to place ourselves where we belong, whether we have productive mindsets or defensive mindsets. And for me, I kept reflecting on myself and I saw that I had a little bit of both. But you kept guiding us, to have more of the productive mindset. And you took us through what really mindset is. You talked about beliefs and perceptions. You took us through the types. You told us about development, and key, the notable thing I really learned today from you is that when we talk of development, for us, we always thought development is about, wiping out poverty. As long as we don't have poverty, then we are developed. Isn't that what we always thought? And you told us that, yes, it is about reducing poverty, reducing unemployment and inequality. When we have differences in society that for us, these ones are more equal than others, then that is lack of development. We've learned that today. You've also told us about being resilient. If we want to have a changed mindset towards development, we must be resilient. And then I said, oh, wow, for us here, we are the national resistance movement. We resist bad things. So we might be actually charged towards developing our nation with a changed mindset. But also I've heard this commonly from the opposition. More recently with the NUP, they keep saying, Emitima Jakaluba. You've heard of that saying. Is that a resilient mindset? You will help elaborate that more. You also told us about learning new skills for us to be able to have a changed mindset. He told us about education, that as a human being, we should constantly aspire to increase on knowledge. There's nobody who will tell you that now the knowledge I have is enough. No. So we must constantly improve on the skills and the knowledge we have. You also told us about the F word. When you first said it, everyone was, I looked at the eyes of, So, but you told us, the mindset. The mindset. Even me, I had to open my eyes wide. I said, what is that? The F word. But you said it is failure. We must be able to get comfortable with the F word. If you can't get comfortable, then we have a fixed mindset and we are not ready for change, because we can't grow when we don't accept that, yes, for all the developmental aspects we are aspiring for, but also there are risks involved, there are failures involved, there are challenges involved. So we must accept and be able to deal with the F word. You told us to invest in education, and I think I recognize the presence of the Right Honorable Secretary General who joined us in midst of your presentation, that we thank him for this initiative, the Ideological Clinics, because when you talked about investing in education, you talked about mentorship and coaching, and I think this is what we are doing right now. This is what we are witnessing, and through this we are able to develop our nation. You also told us to challenge ourselves. We drop the old bad habits, but embrace the good habits. But we should also learn from the bad habits. We learn new habits that can push us forward. So we must be able to change our attitudes for the better. We drop what is bad, adapt to what is good. I know we have brothers here. Finally, we have our ghetto people. I saw them joining us as the discussion had picked up. Yes, we have a group from Chiseka, the bus parks, the ghettos. They also come here and they want to learn. So we appreciate your presence amidst us. I know some of us may not have picked, the Luzungu was a bit, yes, it was good. Because we must also learn, we must change them. So there are some of us, yes, we can recognize them. So we have somebody who is just going to give us a summary in 5 minutes. Amidst us, we also have our flag bearers of NRM, for Member of Parliament, Rubaga South, our flag bearer. We recognize your presence amidst us. Our brother Junjura, from all the way from Bunyoro, he's here with us. He's also one of our flag bearers. So my brother from Rubaga South, my Uganda is too much. I don't want to bring too much vocabulary. So he's going to help us, water it down a bit and just summarize in 5 minutes. After that, we will have a sister from the ghettos. Christine, are you with us? After his summary, you are going to help give us an inspiration. She was with us earlier with the SG, and she took us through her story, how she has been able to keep together over 700 youth, changing their mindsets towards running away. Most of us think when you want employment, you have to seek for formal, but they are in the informal sector and they are doing so well. So she's going to give us her story briefly in order to beef this presentation about mindset change. Thank you so much. I welcome you, my brother, to come and just briefly highlight some of the issues raised about mindset change.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. Right Honorable Secretary General, and several which was Secretary General, wa Maite Pate NRM, several professor, sorry, I beg you pardon, naze nga umazo kuanjula manyako. Honorable Junjula, banyabo nebasebo. Nze Male Charles Kenneth, okuva Rubaga South. Njagala okubebaza okwatendinga emisomo gino, emisomo mirungi nnyo. Madam Chairperson, nzikiriza njogereza kanyamasikeri. Eddoboozi lisobola okuvaayo obulungi. Professor, njagala kukwebaza otuyisa mu musomo guno. Omusomo guno gukwatagana na kukyusa emitima gyaffe. Okuva mu ndowooza gye tubadde tulowoozaamu eteri nnungi, mu ntunuulira gye tutunuulira ebintu ebyenkulaakulana. Professor agambye nti ensi zonna zitera nnyo okusesiira ku byenfuna ebinene n'ebyenfuna ebitono, macroeconomics ne microeconomics. Nezireka okusesiira okukyusa emitima gy'abantu engeri gye batunuuliramu enkulaakulana. n'ayongera n'atugamba nti ensi ezitudde enkyukakyuka y'emitima okuva mu mitima okulaba ebintu obubi, mitima gy'akaluba, mitima gy'akola kiki, n'otandika okulaba ebintu mu ngeri entuufu erimu okukulaakulana, zikulaakulanye ne zigenda wala. N'atuwa ekyokulabirako nti ensi nga ey'amakkirira ga Korea ekulaakulanye kyeyasookerako nga tennaba kwogera ku byanfuna eby'amaanyi ennyo n'ebyenfuna ebitonotono, yasooka kukola ku mitima gy'abantu n'egamba nti tusobola okuva mu mbeera gye tulimu ne tugenda mu mbeera ennungi. Enkyukakyuka y'emitima bwe yakakasa bw'etyo, buli muntu n'ageeta ekintu, yes we can, ddala tukola ki, tusobola. Profesa n'ayongera n'agamba nti ensi eno teriiwo just ku nsozi oba na bibira, nti bye tulina okutunuulira ennyo mountain Yerikoni, mountain Rwenzori kiki, oba ebibira ebirungi Mabira n'ebirala, naye tulina okutunuulira abantu b'ensi eyo, ngeri ki gye balabamu ebintu n'engeri ki gye kubanga n'okwagala ensi yo is mind change. Omuntu alina okukubuulira nti yagala ensi yo osobole okulaba, kuba tosobola kukulaakulanya nsi yo okukola ki gy'otoyagala. Bannyabo ne bassebo. Era n'agamba nti abantu abaakulaakulana nga bakulembeza ekyo baakikozesa ng'emmotoka gye baakozesa mindset change, baagikozesa ng'emmoloka ey'okutambuliramu enkulaakulana. Bannyabo ne bassebo, nti n'agamba nti ensi esoosesezza oba esoosewazza okukyusa emitima gy'abantu ne biraba abantu obulungi. One, ekisookerwako nti employment yeeyongera oba emirimu mu bantu, emirimu gyabula, ebbula ly'emirimu likola ki, likendezebwako, n'okwongera oku productivity. Katugambe nti mu byokulima tubadde tugira tutikka emmwanyi ng'ensawo 100. Mind z'abantu bwe zikyusibwa, emitima gy'abantu bwe gikyusibwa nega nti yes tusobola, yes tukola ki, abantu bazuukukana ku makya ne bagenda balima, ababadde basobola okuleeta ensawo 100, omwaka ogudira tuleeta ensawo mmeka? 100. Nekyongera ekirala bakiyita stewardship. Stewardship mu Luganda okubeera ng'oli accountable. Accountable kitegeeza nti ovunaanyizibwa, kyongera ku buvunaanyizibwa. Ensi erimu abantu abayongera okuvunaanyizibwa, tosobola kusanga muntu ayokya bipiira mu kkubo. Nedda. Tosobola kusanga muntu awowoggana gavulaati. Nedda. Tosobola kusanga muntu addira moloka ya gavumenti n'agikuba n'agikumako omuliro. Nedda. Accountability eyo nti nvunaanyizibwako yeeyongera okuvunaanyizibwa. N'ayongera profesa n'agamba nti mindset kyeki. N'agamba mindset eno system eteekebwa mu bantu okuva ng'omuntu okyali muto ne bakugamba nti system gye tukulizaamu yeeno, yagala ensi yo, tyanga Katonda, kola nekikubeeramu mu mutima n'obeera okulaba nti okola ki, totambuza ensi yo bulungi. N'ayongera n'atugamba mbuukabuuka wano, n'ayongera n'atugamba nti waliwo engeri bbiri enkyukakyuka mitima, types njagala kiza mu Luganda, ebiti ndowooza types by'ebiti. Waliwo ebika oba ebiti, ebika bibiri eby'emyoyo kino. Waliwo mindset esooka eri productive, eryawo ng'eyagala kukulaakulana, nga mu mutima abantu balina ensonga ya kulaakulana eri productive, nga bo kyekibali mu mutima gwabwe, era ebintu babiraba mu ngeri ya kulaakulana. Nga bwe bagamba olugero oluliwo nti anaayavuwala n'awali omukisa alabawo ki? Obulabe. Kati emitima egirina okutubaamu egyo giri productive, nti awali okubonaabona olabawo omukisa, awali okunyigirizibwa olabawo omukisa, n'awali ekitono olaba nti sobola okufuula ekitono kino ekiki ekingi. N'agamba ekika ekirala ekya mindset kyekyo ekyekuniza defensive ekyekuniza buli kintu kyonna nga yeekuniza bwekuniza buli kimu kyonna neyalabye nti waye tugende wa secretary general wano wayinza okubaayo akantu twogere naye bulungi oyo tunayogera naye lulimi ki muddugavu fe tuli beeru ebintu ng'ebyo okulaba ebintu nga tobiraba mu ngeri ki mu ngeri nnungi. N'ayongera n'atugamba nti tuteekeddwa okumenya endowooza eyo eyo buli lwejja mu mutima gwo kimenye n'amaanyi gonna bwekuba kwetaagisa kusaba kisabire ekole ki eveewo otandika okulaba ebintu ng'obiraba ki bulungi omutima guvaamu ebintu ebyo. Kakati n'ayongera n'atugamba nti waliwo endowooza y'abantu nga yo yankulaakulana ekiteetezo nga yankulaakulana ye tojja kumuyingiza mu birala era mind gy'agambye nti ya NRM n'agezaako okugamba nti lwaki tugamba NRM mindset yayo it's a growth mindset oba ey'enkulaakulana etandise okusomesa emisomo nga gino tukuŋŋaanye aŋambye atugambye nti wane yasookawo ye Honorable Kayindo Tafiire n'asomesa kati tulina kino n'ebirala bingi nnyo bikyakola ki ekitegeeza nti NRM etandise okugenda mu direction eri bwetyo ya growth. N'agamba nti waliwo n'ekika ekirala ekiri fixed nga bw'olaba empagi eryawo bweti nga ye omuntu ebirowoozo bye biryawo bwe biti omugamba bannange tukole kino bannange enseeraga mu direction eno aligenda okutunula bw'ati ng'aliyo atya bw'omu kubanga ye ali mu kifo kimu bw'ati. Okiraba ffe abasambi b'omupiira goalposts ezo zibeera fixed oba ekisaawe ekimaze omwaka mulamba tebasambiramu zo zisigala mu kifo kitya kimu. Kakati ekyo baganda bange mulina okukiraba nti ezo mind bweti ekoze eri fixed bweti tekola ki teyeetaagisa kubanga abantu baba batuuse dda ne Kampala nga guli mu kifo kimu bwoti olowooza ku byedda bwoti bwe naatunda ettaka lino terijja kugira ensi developing atunda ettaka ogenda ogula awalala awanene osobola okukola ki nekoga nedda kati ye mind eyo ndowooza nginnyonnyodde bulungi. Profesa n'agamba nti abantu we beembuleesinze oba we bakkiriza ne bakkiriza bulungi okukyusa emitima gyabwe ne bagiteekateeka bulungi obbula ly'emirimu likoze eki likendedde. Ekyokubiri obutenka inequality kijja mu nfuna y'essente kyoli mugagga oli asinzako kwoli ne kwoli enjawulo eriwo ekibangiriza ekyo ekiriwo wakati w'omugagga n'omwavu n'alina akatono nakyo kikoze eki kikendedde. Lwaki? Kubanga omuntu omutima gwe guba gweteeseteese ne gulaba nti Right Honorable Secretary General alina ssente omwavu tokwatibwa kiki nsaalugabwa nange kikola ki kisoboka nsobola okukola ne mutuukako era gaapu eyo ekibangiriza ekyo kikola ki kikendedde ekyobwavu ekyobutaba na mirimu n'ekyokuba nti ebbanga eriwo wakati w'abatalina ssente n'abalina ssente. Profesa naye atugamba entabiro, that is the linkage, entabiro oba kino kye batuzana nakyo bakita umbilical cord ekkundi akalira akagatta omwana ne maama linkage. Kakati n'agamba nti entabiro eriwo wakati w'enkyukakyuka y'emitima gyaffe n'egundi n'enkulaakulana eri bweti nti enkulaakulana tesobola kubeerawo nga tokyusiza kiki mutima nakijjiza eri waggulu. Ekyo kyetukola ki kyayogeddeko nti wonna wekiri enkulaakulana weebadde abantu basooka bateekateeka nga ebirowoozo byabwe emitwe gyabwe gikoze eki mind zaabwe emitima gyabwe gikoze eki bivuddemu bino emitima gyakaluba biki mubitegeera. N'ayongera n'agamba nti mindset weeri abateekateeka emitima olaba n'okugenda maaso progress ogenda maaso bana abantu ateredde omutima mwangu n'okusomesa n'okubuulira ebigambo biyingira makuba omutima teguliimu kalimu kali ak'omunda. Nawe example n'omutima ogwo oguteredde gukuleetera ne bw'oba ofunye nga waliwo ky'onoonya nga tonnaba kifuna, kikuwa essuubi oba obuvumu, resilient, kikuwa obuvumu okuganja kukola nnyo nsobole okituukako. N'atuwa example y'Abadaaki. Abadaaki n'aga nti bali tough, ye tomulemesa, bw'agwa ng'asituka, agwa bw'asituka paka lwatuuka ku kyakola ki, kubanga omutima gwe baaguteekateeka gulowooza positively, teguliimu gwakaluba gwakola ki tekisoboka. Ne muntu ateeseteese omutima omulungi n'okusoma learning process nayo ebeera faamu, omutima gulowooza ki, gulowooza bulungi. N'abuuza Professor nti lwaki mindset ya mugaso? Why mindset important? Naawe ensonga zibadde nnya. N'agamba esooka oyiga ebipya bingi, obukugu bungi, learn new skills, ng'okkiriza omutima ne gubeera nga gukoze eki, mindset eguyingiddemu. Two, kikuyamba nti ng'omutima gwo gweteeseteese bulungi, totwala bintu naaga taking things for granted. Bw'oba tonnakola kintu kyonna obeera ng'ekkonkoma, abasinga mumanye ekkonkoma geko, ne bw'eba eri ku muti munene bwe guti enyeenya, am I sure what way I'm standing on wali famu ddala kituufu ekiti kyekalamu ekkonkoma ekenkana ng'olugalo lw'amale. Kakati bw'oba olina mindset ebintu tobitwala bw'otyo, olina okubeera ng'oli ki, oli very sure. Ekyusa enneeyisaayo n'obeera ng'ebintu obiraba mu mbeera ennungi, oba mindset eyo etuyambako. Ekuyambako ekuyambako to control, okwekugira, obusobozi bw'okwekugira, okufuna okutuuka gy'osobola okukola ki, okugenda. Bw'oba oyagala, kyagezako nti bw'oba oyagala ng'oyagala kugula motoka eri motoka ya secretary general ng'oyagala gigula, sijja kunywa mwenge, that is controlling. Sijja kwonoona nnyo ssente bwenti, leka nzitereke bwenti ne bwenti, era finally n'otuuka ku ki gy'oyagala okutuuka. N'agamba nti ensi nnyingi nnyo ezitambudde bwe zityo era zikulaakulanye. N'abuuza nti lwaki twetaaga, maliriza. N'abuuza lwaki twetaaga okukola ki, okuteekateeka emitima gy'abantu nga mitereevu mu mindset. One, nti ky'obadde omanyi mu bwongo, challenging the assumptions, ky'obadde olina mu bwongo kikuyamba ne kikola ki, ne kivaamu ne kisangukamu. Two, ekuyamba n'okubeera na identity yaffe kati nga ffe aba NRM is that okugenda okukwata fulaaga olina kugenda mu kamyufu period. Ffe ng'aba-NRM ideology yaffe oba agundi yaffe eri nti nkulaakulana naki and respect, ebintu bwe bityo nti ekuyambako bw'oba olina mindset n'okubeera omuntu agoberera ideology y'ekintu. Etuyamba nako okujja, omanyi this is a position, ekifo mw'oba oyimiridde. Oyinza okuba ng'oyimiridde mu kifo nga kibi, from negative position, n'ekuyambako mindset okugenda mu kifo ekiri positive, okudda mu kifo ekirungi. Professor bw'atugambye bw'ati, someone is already over time. I should close it down.
Thank you so much, Brother Malay. The Luganda was very good. And even those who don't know we are following. So thank you so much. This time I would like to invite my sister, Christine from the ghettos. Come here. We want the cameras to also capture you. She's going to give us a story briefly. Then we have 1 or 2 questions and we give back to Professor. And then finally the Secretary General will summarize the day. Christine, she's still taking in, you know? Yes, yes. She's going to inspire us, I know. And I don't want to tell her story. Let her tell us her story the way she knows it best. You're most welcome, Christine.
Good evening, everyone. This is Christine. This is Christine I've been talking about. Namakanda. Karoli. So called Tuna dakika ntono, but we are going to use time, please. We are not time wasters. What is your time? Can you keep time? 1 second. As Fiona is preparing for something, and the rest of the ghetto guys, Wemuli. Carol, how are you, my dear daughter? White. How are you, my dear? That is what they call ghetto. She moves in my step. She's a graduate. Kuyagamba namala yo byonna yeye soma bambi naye ali mu ghetto hustling. We call ourselves hustler. Mommy's hustler guys. Oyo manager Christine. Oyo Rasta. She's a Rasta not because of her hair, because of her heart. Today. So manager Christine is a Rasta not because of her hair, the dreadlocks, the heart. The rest of you have a bad heart, you Babylonians, not problem. So me, the gentleman professor has been talking about change of your mindset. Mzee Malia was talking about umutima, but then in a layman's English, Muruganda, endowooza. In what you do, you should change the way you think. He talked about culture. What's the culture? When you finish your education, when you get a degree, what's the culture? Look for a job, sit at home and keep on applying. I have been shortlisted. Uganda Revenue Authority invited me all over and all over. No, it's not the best part of the news. But no, that's no news. Like they shortlist you, but they never invite you for interviews. You're seated at home. Then you hear your friends being like, man, I think they did money and cheat. And for us, we'd be like, but bro, you're weighing down your new parents. You have no money, you have bills to pay. You're stressed. Wake up in the morning, change the way you think. For me to change my mindset, it started with laying my bed. I'd get out of my bed and lay it. 6 a.m. I'd be like, man, I have nothing to do. Let me first lay in my bed. Lay your bed, say a prayer, then sit in the sitting room and pick up a remote. And I was like, but really, 10 a.m. you're tired. So one day I take a walk. I meet this lady, Ras. Ras is like, man, cheat, I have a degree, but then, you know, looking around and all, why don't you grind? So we call it what they call switching to grind mode, like hustling mode. You just wake up in the morning and you flip. You just be like, katize, zikiriza, nasoma, namalayo. Don't forget, I'm also level to CPA. Like nasoma, namalayo. But what these people call, okay, for her manager person calls us guides for the bus, we are brokers. Nze mpita bus. Where chigumba karume mbale soroti. Level 2 CPA, Bachelor's Degree Accounting Finance. You wake up in the morning, wale chigumba karume gulu kiku kalong paton kurang mbale soroti. Kila mtu aingie ndani. What are we looking for? What are we looking for? The man. I don't live the best life. It's not comfortable. It's not good, but it's better than nothing. It's not the best. My level of qualification. I have a Bachelor's Degree of Science in Accounting and Finance, Jambogo University, 2018. Level 2 CPA. Certified Public Accounting of Uganda.
Bananga Checho. Point taken. About Gizimwe, we are very happy, Right Honorable Secretary General, to give us this chance. But when I entered this office, it looks inspiring. But for my case, I see it as a usual life because it's what I chose. If this is hard, there is somewhere I can get interested with. Then I made that life become part of me. Kati, that life must be very, 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 you must live with it. If you think you're a graduate, I have a bachelor's degree in business administration, Uganda Christian University. 2013, I looked everywhere. For her, she's better than she laid the bed. I grew up where they don't lay beds because we were staying 7 to 10 people. A bed wasn't part of you. But I looked for everywhere. I said, hey, this is the life I'm going to stay. Somewhere behind there is someone. I gave birth before I could graduate, so there's someone demanding for milk. So you people who are looking at it, I get birth, it's a young mother. And then you tell me that I have a degree, that's a paper. Hey, someone is asking for milk. It's just a paper. But your energy, your skill, your talent. I'm an athlete, I abandoned it. I'm a sporty, I looked at it. Where am I going with sports? Talent nowhere, Uganda. I said, nobody will take me over. I wanted to run over, I gave birth to someone. Hey, I said, no, let me hustle. It's the best qualification. No, if you don't impress, hustling. But you don't do it because it's the best. You need to know it exists and you can live with it. So I started loading buses in 5 years ago. I carried this head, I could be having long hair than what you think, but I carried people's luggage from the park of New Park to Namaiwa. Quite sale. I used to offload buses that come to I haven't come with the guy whom I used to offload. Most of those guys that have seen me growing up, going on, and my going on has not been done by what? One, trust, love for one another, and know the key subject of life. If you don't know those, then you're done. You guys, university is just a school. But there's somewhere what we call semester 7. Oh, semester 7. They used to tell me, I say, okay, I prepared for semester 7, but only that I delayed 7 years. So members, those who are at the university, you are looking at the graduates. I even went ahead and I have a hustler behind there. She's called Fiona. She's a master's degree holder. Can I have Fiona standing? She's there. She's in the park crying for buses. Loud, clear. Pushing and kickboxing seriously. But 1,000 should go to the pocket. Don't forget. It's not just kicking and boxing, but it's a matter of making women become better. But we are mothers, associates here. We take care of those guys. So it's not a matter of graduates, going to school. So much. So mobility. Go to school, study, get good quality. Don't look for second-class money. Make yourself engaged. Get a good class. You take our point B. Life must move on. I looked at 3 things. 1, I looked at flexibility. That is my life. I looked at acceptance, then affordability. I need to live a life I afford, and I must live beyond affordance if there's chance to live. So in that point, I need to accept that change has come, but I must move on. By the weaknesses, I'm not emotional by this. I don't cry when someone dies. Mom, if I sit me to the point of death, I don't need to cry. For what? Meeting my dad, Kaluba, and by the way, that's one thing. That is one thing I'm proud of. Me, I was born in NRM time, 1989. There's no gender mass with NRM. I've never seen a leader telling me anything. That time of contact, yes, they're there. But there's something we need to know about this NRM, which I'm not going to talk about. But not today, neither. But I only picked interest when Mzee spoke. There's Carol, there was a debate when Mzee proved to be the best candidate. You remember? Nzenari njagala kazende bwe ngambo ono Mzee akenda kugamba chief president wange. But he challenged the ground. The guy looked to be very sharp, beyond boundaries. So if you think I can go with someone who's the second you said the legs of a stupid person, they make the whole body tired. Yeah. The NRM Pakalas, because Mzee said democracy. Democracy is the government of people for the people by the people. But there's something said he's an Africanist. Democracy is when people decide to choose you. You are the superior candidate. It is democracy. So it means his own phrase came up with African phrase, not even his own, African phrase. Colonial life force. It is now us. Every youth is around. Take this. We are not comfortable, but we must move on. You must be live for the life. You must accept and be flexible. The mindset is very good, but culture must be considered. We are in ghetto. We have very bad manners. You see me here. I have very bad manners. I'm very dangerous. But there's a culture I embrace. When there's a man, I get married. I have 3 sons, but I went to the man. That's one thing I'm happy for. But very, very dangerous. So it's not good.
Thank you, Christine. Good evening, everyone. Fiona, Mrs. Fiona Peter Robinson, a mother, a sister, and I've now become a friend. I want to commend my family behind there. My coming into transport business was not easy as a woman. They undermine us a lot. Omukyala abeera atya manager, omukyala abeera atya broker, omukyala abeera atya conductor, omukyala andabirira atya. Ladies and gentlemen, if you get me down in the park, city manager, city broker, city conductor, ndi byonna. I joined them on board. Ningamba katukole fenna. I did not tell anybody I have a master's. Master's bagiwandika ku face. Ate master's siye wo mulimu siye wa sente. Bagala kumanya, what are you bringing on board? I sat down with these people. Nimanya bye bayitamu. Ningamba katukole. And as I speak, I arrived last night at around 3 a.m. from Lukungu. I boarded the bus. I conducted it. I looked for passengers. I ran and chased after the bus. I stand up and let you sit down. But at the end of that day, I don't do it for myself. I do it for the people behind me. I do it for my siblings. I do it for my parents that invested in me, the education. I want to change someone's mindset. I do not have a job. People come to me and they're like, I need a job. And I tell them, okay, what do you want to do? Can you be a conductor? Can you be a timer? Can you do anything? Because you're not going to come to me and tell me I want to sit down and write receipts. No, I'll tell you, go on the street. Go to Christian. Bring me a passenger. If you cannot bring me a passenger, what are you going to do for me? You understand? So I want to encourage all the youth out there. The opportunities are very many. Offices, I have even done trainings. I've trained people in agriculture. I have an idea on agriculture. I have gone deep down to Bulambuli. I've helped my people at the local government. I've trained them on seed varieties. And someone sits down and they're like, I don't know if we have some bagisu here. We have. They be like, my, never to be manual 10 in layman's language. We know you know manual 10, but it's through interacting with different people. Knowledge is power. Let's just like Professor said. I can be anything. Tomorrow you get me in a hospital, sitting down, and you'll be like, Fiona, what is this? Anything you get your hands on, do it. Because you're not doing it for yourself. You're laying a foundation for the people behind you. I do not want that. I want at the end of the day when I go down to rest, I do not want to stand as a woman and they're like, the husband is the one that did this for her. No, I have to stand up as a woman and do everything for myself. I encourage the women out there to work hard. Let us be, let us modernize this business. People know it as a business for people who didn't go to school. But if I'm educated and I bring in a new ideology, and I want to thank this government for giving women an opportunity. NRM, we come forward, we do what we want. Back then, but I want to thank you so much, NRM. I'm here because of you. NRM. Thank you. Wow, who has not been inspired? Thank you so much, Abarasta. This was so inspirational. And I think one day I want to go and demonstrate and be with them and also start getting customers for them. You really inspired us. Hey. Do we have somebody from recess to just share something in a minute? The saloon operators, recess. Do we have somebody to share something? We are on mindset change. People are looking for formal jobs, but we have people here who have put up saloons and they are busy. We've seen men these days, they are also busy plating. We used to think it is only women who can plait pencil. Yeah? For me these days, when I go, I look for a man because when they do it well. Hey. So do we have somebody from recess? Yes, recess. Recess, Tuliwa. Okay. So, Professor, the online followers are now at 9,982 across Africa, across the globe. Thank you. Yes.
Neyanziza, Secretary General, Mugenyi wafe Professor, Manya Gange Zeka Manyere Celestine, Secretary wa RSS, Salon Operators National Association, Stroke Sako. Professor bw'asomeseza ku mindset. Amazima gali nti David eddala linga abadde ayogera ku RSS. kubanga field eno ya beauty industry tukyusiza nnyo endowooza z'abantu n'omukyalo ono Christine akyogeddeko kubanga tutunuulidde abantu abali ku street, tutunuulidde hawkers and vendors bali mu kubagoba ku makubo ate be balimu abakyala bano basingle mothers, ne tutunuulira mulimu abasomye naye omulimu gwa saloon baguyita ng'omulimu ogutalina mugaso, naye amazima gali nti I'm a graduate Mr. Professor, naye nanoonya emirimu nekikola ki nengamba kangende mu saloon, ne saloon gyebalizaamu kubanga endabiridde ne family yange ate n'abantu abalala batwegattako kwina ba graduates kati bangi. So tusaba nti emisomo gino kwongera kwebaza chairman waffe w'NRM Mwami President Museveni, Secretary General kyewakoze kyongerere ddala mu maaso, ekive ne wano kyeyongere neeyo wansi wano wenyini we tuli waliwo abatyawo. Mr. Secretary General, people fear here. If we extend these classes to down those places, it is going to change people's minds a lot. So, katinga fabajja mu misomo gino ate tubeera n'abantu bano down there, tusaba mutuwe mandate tujja basomesa. Professor, tukutambuze naawe olabe ghetto nga bweri. Oyingira omuntu mu saloon wali wansi mu kisenyi, entebe atuula ne side emu eri bweti naye nga byakubulira nga bya mugaso. Neyanziza neyanzeeke Secretary General twatambuddeko n'abamu aba opposition kubanga tugezezaako kubakyusa endowooza. Professor Kyadda agamba emitima gyakaluba. Omulimu gwaffe gwe tukola ffe aba saloon kubanga it's like a meeting point. Tutunuulira nnyo bano abaana be babuzaabuza ne baba nga bagenda endowooza bagikyusa, tebaagala kukola, tebaagala kunoonya mirimu. Naye abantu abamu tulinako ba counselors, ba LCs, betuzze nga tubuulira kulaba nti tubaleeta wano batandike kuyingira emisomo gino kibayambe kubanga bakola ki bakyusa endowooza zaabwe. Mr. Professor, okulaba nti nabo basobola okubeera mu development y'eggwanga lyaffe. Museveni juu neyanze.
Thank you so much, my brother from recess. Professor and Right Honorable Secretary General, we have several comments from the online followers, but I've just picked out a few. Zizu Musa is just appreciating Professor for this very important lecture that you gave us today. Somebody called Ahmed said, I have pulled my chair and I trust Professor Yasin Olum is going to give us a good lecture. Good to see him again. Alibawu Sharif says, happy to be on this meeting. I'm from Bugweri. Long live Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Moses is saying, I thank you, Secretary General, and the administrative structure of the Secretariat, and Professor Yasin Olum. This presentation was great and appealing. It has left us to reflect on a lot. Lamek Mwanga is saying, good innovation. I thank the organizers for the initiative of such meeting. Such meetings should be encouraged. We don't want to backslide and die due to some of the challenges. This is inspiring. Biaruhanga Samuel says, thanks for the presentation, my former speaker, thinking of a production mind. I have picked and I'm still reflecting. Switching to Luganda, some of us don't understand. The Luganda was only for those who couldn't pick English. So he was saying we switch back to English. It was just the same issues that were repeated in Luganda. Maggie from Cape Town. I told you we have from listeners from across Africa. Margaret from Cape Town says, thanks, Professor, for teaching us. More is needed for emphasis about positive mind setting, because the young generation today is lacking this, meaning they have reached little positive teaching from their homes. So she's in fact saying that we need more of this because the young generation lacks this. Our homes are no longer giving us the teaching that they are expected to give us. Dombo Emmanuel is saying, I am here in Kayunga, following seriously. Though I missed the presentation, at least I've been able to get the summary by Mr. Malay. Thank you. This is fantastic innovation by Right Honorable Richard Todong. My kind regards to everyone. Long live Museveni, long live Uganda. Thank you, Professor. This is our director, media, who is in Kayunga, counting votes for us. And Zizu Musa again has thanked you. I think because of time, we've had a very good lecture. We've had all these inspirational, stories from our sisters from the ghetto and recess. We really give no room for questions today. It is just for us to go back and reflect on what we've learned today. I just wanted, Professor, what I told you earlier about the Emitima Japaluwa is that it's a common say among the youth of late. You talked about resilience. I was just asking that. Because Emitima Japaluwa, in English, it is the hearts have hardened. So is that the resilience you are talking about, or it is something else? That's what I just hinted on. Otherwise, we will just welcome you back to say one or two things and then invite the Right Honorable Secretary General. Oh, yes. Before Professor comes in case you have really something so tickling, I pray that you write it down and we pass it over to Professor. Sister Achiro from FDC, you say you have a word in 1 minute. Please come and share with us. Okay, thank you.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. The Lord is good and all the time. Wow. My name is Achiro Florence. I'm from Naguru Women Street Vendors Cooperative. I want to thank God for this time, and I want to thank God for the gift of life. That's why we are here. So I'm very happy, so long as I came late, but I picked some point about mindset. It does my heart. I'm a street vendor for 10 years in Kampala. Then I look around, I move around, doing my street vending. I'm not seeing any development. Then I say, no, God, I want to change my mindset. Then I sit down, I make my decision. Said, now, God, I want you to open a way where there is no way. You are a God of the God, and you are a creator of the one. Anything you ask in his name, he will give you. Then he chose me to come to join politics. Then I joined politics. I said, Father, you send me to join politics now. Can I manage? Really? I'm a vendor. I don't have any single money. I don't have a house. I don't have a motor car. Even the money for making my poster, it was a tug of war in my life. Then I put my trust in God. I said, you will make it. Then he made it. Now I'm a counselor in Naguru 2B Paris. I came under FDC, one Uganda, one people. So I love this party because this is my father. So long as I don't seem to be in a blue color, I'm in yellow color sometimes. So my fellow brother and sister, life is not easy. If you want to move a long distance, close your mouth. Look forward. Open your hearts. Everything will be okay to you. I believe I will make more, maybe in this yellow color. Afoye mate, maybe you want to know my language. Afoye mate, luba megu.
Thank you so much, Sister Achiro. I have learned so many things in a short time. From a street vendor to a counselor. So all of you here, as long as we change our mindsets, we can become anything. Tomorrow you're going to be the Director of Finance. Tomorrow you're going to be the Secretary General. Tomorrow you're going to be anything you want to be, as long as we change our what? Thank you so much, our sister. And when we say NRM is a mass party, this is what exactly we mean. You see, we have FDC here holding the microphone in our house, and they're able to speak freely, you know? But then you just try go with your yellow color to some place down there, you know? I tried going to Margaret, they almost beat me. So when we say we are a mass party, we are all welcoming. All of you come, this is a home for all of you in Uganda. So thank you so much, Right Honorable Secretary General, for welcoming Ugandans to come and learn from the NRM. We thank our chairman of the party, the father of our revolution, His Excellency, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for being an educationist himself. We learn all this that we are doing from him, and he constantly teaches us. I imagine whenever we go for SEC meetings, even before the agenda is presented, he always starts with a lecture, an ideological lecture. We have a lot to learn from him. Right Honorable, I pray that one time you also invite him to come and share with us the ideas he has. Otherwise, thank you so much, Professor. We just want to bring you back to the mic and you give us more knowledge and also just comment on some of the issues that have come up. Thank you.
The Master of Ceremonies, thank you very much for steering this interesting debate. We don't have time and I don't have a lot to say, but I will end on one or two issues only. One is that I gave you a presentation that is generic, is general. I did not apply it to specific organizations or institutions. I think I said that. If I was called to present it to specific institutions or organizations, I would probably have said mindset change for the youth for development, for instance. So I'll be tackling some of the many things that I have had here, including the interesting success stories of the Carolines and company that I had. I would have talked about the kind of mindset of the youth today. And remember, I have done some work with the youth, and I know National Youth Council very well. And I've taken them through a number of training programs. I think some of you in the room may have met me before in various districts. So I have not applied these ideas to specific organizations, but they can be applied. When you look at what I've presented, you can apply them to specific organizations, to women, to youth, to people with disabilities, to small businesses, if you wish, and so on. So that is where I ended my presentation. It was bounded. I bounded it within that kind of framework. Then the chairperson, Hajati Madina, is it? I asked her to clarify again about what she had said. Mitima Jakolaji, Jakaluba, which means our hearts have hardened. And is that the resilience, the hardening? Is that the resilience that I'm talking about? And you're right that it is not what I'm talking about. I am talking about positive resilience. I'm talking about growth mindsets, not retrogressive fixed mindsets that looks at things in a negative way. If Omtima Ukaluba has become so hard, what is it hard about? Lwachi ya Kaluba, why is it hard? What is the reason that it has to Kaluba? I want to differ with Carol. Is she around? Did I get you well? Did you say that you no longer cry or something when people die? Is that what you said? Huh? That's what I was trying to get to. Is that Omutima Gwa Karuba, the one which now doesn't cry? You see, has it hardened so much that even feelings and emotions have disappeared? That if somebody has died, you are going to start laughing because the situation, I don't know, I am not trying to provoke you to, sorry, I'm not trying to provoke you to react. I'm just trying to see whether I can understand this question and respond to it. But simply put,
during our campaign,
yes,
here in the centre,
yes, yes. Or what?
They used to permit posters and say, banning any yellow thing. Meaning, you see how I say, I will say during the campaign, the clearest example like that. You know, here in Kampala, they locked down and banning posters with yellow color. So they used to do so, say, Emitima Jakaluba, bring down the posters, ban them. So it is Kukaruba in a negative way. When we try to put Mama Genetas will look chima. Posters are peso na including Pabamu, Quatekanga Musei, one of poster yafe, one of faith. But we got Ponyaboya, Pemitima Japejani, Jakalu, Abati Kulayo, Basula was Tabazot. So Kukaruba, Mungerianchi.
Correct. I think that one we have exhausted. We have beaten that point to death, and we actually now mean that it doesn't mean Okukaruba in the negative sense. Finally, as I end, I don't think, commenting on what you say, I think it is, again, we need to continue to educate, isn't it? And sensitize. If you don't like President Museveni, that's fine. That's a political position. Nobody is forcing you to do so. But it is wrong for you to remove his poster. Don't you see? Because it doesn't harm him. He is a candidate. Legitimately, he has been declared a candidate. Now, who is yours? Who is your candidate? You also have a candidate, don't you? Because that's what democracy demands. Now, go and select your candidate. Leave me to select mine. So don't tear mine, because I'm not going to tear yours. Because my thinking is bigger than yours. I will not go to the walls and pluck off yours. But please, for heaven's sake, don't pluck off mine. If mine is President Museveni, leave it there. What is it your business to pluck it? You are supposed to cast a vote, isn't it? Just one adult suffrage, one vote. So go and cast, leave my candidate alone. And I think this is part of the problem. Part of the problem is some of our citizens are not sufficiently educated that democracy is about your own single right. And don't interfere with my right. If you remove my candidate from the posters, you are beginning to interfere into my right. And that's why the law punishes you for doing so, the moment you have been arrested. So I really want to comment on that issue. And I'm commenting now very strongly that people who pluck off people's candidates, including the one of President Museveni, are committing an offense. And I'm sure those police officers, once they get you, they are here, they should arrest you. Actually, they are within the law to do so. So that's why don't pluck off mine, because I will not pluck off what? Yours. And I'm not going to vote yours. Because I have mine, so don't come and interfere with my right, which is given to me, bequeathed to me. By my birth, I have a right to choose somebody I want, and don't force somebody on me. So that is how simple it is when we are going to practical politics. And I make myself extremely clear. And some of you have never heard me. You are just hearing me for the first time. But you don't know that I participate in politics in my own way. So when you come and encroach on my rights, that is when you will know that I will tell you you are on the wrong side of the law. And I will remind you. So I think I needed to comment on that one, because it really hurts me to hear when somebody says that President Museveni's posters have been removed and plucked off. I wish I could find that kind of person. I would commit another crime. So my mindset would be such as to drive and hit this person out of the way. But God has helped me. I have not found them. So let me end by thanking the Secretary General, because I will not come back. for thanking the Secretary General for this invitation. I've really enjoyed myself, and I thank those who have been online that have sent their messages, their good messages. I hope to interact with them more whenever this event is publicized. I get my room and I definitely will participate because I know it is such a useful thing. Thank you, NRM Secretariat, for having a growth mindset. We clap. Thank you for having a growth mindset. May the Almighty continue to open your minds so that you can lead this country forward to the next century. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. We thank him the NRM way. Asante sana. I just don't want to dilute what you've just said. At this moment, because of time, I would go straight to invite the Right Honorable Secretary General of the mightiest party in Uganda, Africa, and the world. Right Honorable Richard Todong, you're most welcome to give your concluding remarks and close our event of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you. May we give another round of applause to the professor. Professor was my supervisor, he was my lecturer, and I was shy to invite you to come and make a presentation. When I was doing my master's, when he was supervising me, I was supposed to defend my thesis. So he invited me, and I sat in front of about 5 to 6 lecturers. They did not know that I wrote my paper myself. They thought I had hired someone to do my work. So Professor told me, Todong, you're welcome, sit down. I sat. He gave me a plain piece of paper, and he picked a pen from his pocket. And he asked me, tell us about your research work. Then, of course, I went through the problem statement, the literature review, methodology, findings. Now, when we got to analysis, he got me there. He said, now, with all that you have found, can you summarize your analysis in just few words? And then your recommendation, because that is where they get you. Whether you have done the work yourself or you have hired somebody. So I'm sure I impressed him, and he even recommended that I should go back for my PhD. So thank you so much for being such a wonderful. Our minds are where everything starts and stops. The way we think, our level of happiness, sorrow, everything starts with the mind. The heart, yes, the heart gives you the feeling. But the mind, why is the mind important? Because the connections to the mind are the eyes, the ears, the mouth. The eyes will see and remit what it gets to see to the brain, the mind, isn't it? The ears will hear, and the signals will all go to the brain, the mind. The mouth will feel, and it will all go where? So the mind is the processing center of the body. And everything you do starts with the mind. Your level of poverty, your level of success, your level of failure starts with the mind. And that is what the lecture is all about. When you hear these wonderful sisters of mine, they were speaking their language, which was very fast for me to understand. But if I can slow it down, these are graduates. But they are at the bus park loading luggages of people. They are at the bus park acting as conductors of buses. They are at the bus park calling passengers to board buses going to different routes. You heard them. And to them, with their degrees, one with a master's degree, and I think she has a strong field in agriculture. She was talking more about agriculture. Another one is a professional accountant with a stage 2 of CPA. Are you together? Then the other one, the Rasta, is a development graduate, but they're downtown. Why? Are they sleeping hungry? No. Are those with the degrees, others sleeping hungry? Yes. So where is the problem? The mind. Has it changed their names and their perception and their everything? Nothing. If this is a church and I'm the pastor and I ask for contribution, you might find they will contribute more than you, who is in a tie and a suit. Because life is all about what you get to your pocket. If you have children to feed, you have bills to pay, you have rent to pay, you cannot sit because you failed to get a job that you're looking for. You need to adjust yourself, the mind. Nature is a constant. I always compare this. Nature is a constant. God was very wise that we can interpret nature, consume the interpretation, and digest it. Man is more flexible because your brain can interpret nature. Now, the professor is telling you that if you have a fixed mindset, and yet nature is a constant, you will also be a constant living together with a constant nature. And nature will not feel you, but you will feel nature. Are we together? Because you are growing, and nature, the constantness in nature will always be permanent. But yours changes. Today you're 20, tomorrow you're 21, another day you're 23. You want to have a family, you want to have children, but your mind is fixed. Then the pressure starts crippling you. And because of that, you start throwing that feeling to blame others. It starts with you. That is what I picked from the lecture. The professor told us that nations are built by its citizens' characters, not only by natural resources. The citizen's character is what builds a nation. It's written in Adam Smith's book, The Wealth of Nations. The human being, the human resource, you and me, is the wealth of Uganda. So how is this wealth appreciated? How is this wealth built? How do you appreciate your motherland? How do you contribute to it? It's in the mind. Do you want to destroy it? It's in the mind. Do you want to kill others? It's in the mind. Do you want to make it difficult for others to live it? It's in the mind. The mind. Your mind is the first employer, not the paper you have, not the family you come from, not the tribe you are born in, not anything else, but your mind is the first employer. Your mind will give you the first job, and your mind will give you the first salary. If your mind is fixed that you don't see opportunities around you, you will be poor and others will be rich. The mind, the mind, the mind, the mind. Then the professor says, invest in education, and self-education is even more important. Self-education. You don't need to go to class. My sister, the hawker, where is she? The street vendor.
Achiro.
Now, Achiro now speaks YG. She doesn't even know what she's saying. Achiro transformed from street vending to a counselor. What is your level of education? P7 graduate. The mind. Are we together? The mind, now she's an honorable counselor. You are a Lord Counselor. No, not yet. Now, because of that determination, Achiro might even now go back and continue with education to get the formal requirement to contest as a woman MP of Kampala. It's all in where? In the mind. So next Thursday, I would like to invite you again. We are going to have another very important lecture. We're going to have Mr. Ochichi Charles from Enterprise Uganda. Ochichi is going to teach us about youth, unemployment, and financial literacy. You know him? He's coming tomorrow. So I would, not tomorrow, he's coming next Thursday. On the 9th of December. He's coming on the 9th of December, and I think that will be our last lecture for this year. Then we shall go for Christmas and we shall resume in January next year. Make sure you invite all those young entrepreneurs in town. When you go through this young man's lecture, you will know the value of money, the value of work, the value of saving and controlling your expenditures. He's very good at that. I've always been interacting with my friends, Professor. You find young people who drink beer every day and they don't work. They will not even tell you where they get the money. But me, I was looking at the consumption pattern. A bottle of beer, I'm told, is about 4,000. 5. How much? 3.5. Okay, let's go with the lowest, 3.5. And you take how many bottles to be a bit? 5.4. That is about 20,000. Okay? And you cannot take beer on an empty stomach. So in a day, someone is spending 25,000 for beer, pork, or molokoi. Now you multiply 25,000 times 7 days in a week. That comes to what? 175 times 4. How much is it? 175 times 4. 700,000. You find someone who doesn't earn a coin, spends 700,000 per month. Now that is what Uchichi is going to teach us about. That if you save that money or you save a half of it, how much money will you have in a month? And will you still be crying of poverty? Mind, the mind, it's connected to this. So I would like to invite you to come next Thursday. My sister Christine talked of something very interesting. That the legs of a stupid person makes the whole body tired. Did you hear that? Yeah. The legs of a stupid person makes the whole body tired. You go and digest it. Because your leg, if you're stupid, the leg will take you in useless places and you'll exhaust your body for nothing. Because your mind tells you you should keep walking, moving. We are thinking of taking these classes downtown like you requested. We shall share it with you and how we can do it. We shall find a way of taking it downtown. I also need to confirm that His Excellency, the President, has confirmed that he will be coming to lecture. We are only waiting for the day that is coming and we shall notify you. Because you see, I don't know whether you know him the way I do. The President is a whole library. He's a library. To me, he's a library. His words, his actions. When you listen to him, it's like every time you're listening to something new. And when you take his stories, his ideas, and you follow, you'll understand. And I came to understand that the president's main objective was not even to be the president, but to make Uganda a peaceful country. Why? He started changing his community in the early 60s. He was not thinking of being a president. Amin took over power. He was a researcher in the president's office. And he went to exile because he knew Amin was a dangerous character. The liberation struggle started in Tanzania and he joined. He was not thinking of being a president. They came back from Tanzania when Amin was overthrown. He was in the country. He was not thinking of being a president. But the failures of leaders, constant failures of the military commission, the election that was rigged, provoked him into being a president. So it's a story. Now, some young people from playing guitar in one day and you want to be a president. Build yourself, mentor yourself, understand the country, understand the people you want to lead. Don't rush. You will crash badly. You will crash badly. And that is why basically tried all these, basically part 1, basically part 2, part 3, part 4. My sister Chiro should just come back home. That is not a place. Then my brother Chagulanye, I wish him well, but I doubt whether he will manage. This country is too deep. It's not a matter of jokes. The affairs of Uganda are too serious. It doesn't require jokers. So these are things we shall be inviting you through. We are going to have a series of lectures to build you, to make you understand your country. And time will come that we shall even take you around. For those who have never moved around the country, how many have never moved around the country? That you are born in Kampala, you grew up in Kampala, and you are Kampala Limited. We shall be taking you to Karamoja. We shall be taking you to Kisoro. We shall be taking you to West Nile. You need to see your country. Then you can appreciate what the president has done. Are we together? We shall arrange and take you around the country. And you get to see this beautiful country. So thank you so much, and I wish you all the best. Next Thursday is going to be another serious one. Make sure you come. For those who are working and you're earning something, and for those who are thinking of getting something to do in the private sector, make sure you don't miss next Thursday's lecture. It's going to be another serious one. So thank you, and with this, I request that we close today's session, and I wish you all the best. God bless you. Requesting for a group photo. We can take a group photo there and we shall be putting it on our website. Professor.